Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I still have not got my intro and outro back, and I'm praying that I will figure it out. But life's been busy, and I have not had time to do so thank you for bearing with me. I know it's not really that important, but I loved it, and I was so proud that I made that all by myself. So I'm hoping that I can figure that out. Anyway, side note, today, I was having kind of a day. I was having a really good day, and then all of a sudden I was just feeling so overwhelmed and overstimulated, and I just needed some time for myself. And so I went to the park, and I went for an hour-long walk and listened to this podcast that was so good about intuition and signs from the universe and just patterns and recognizing these lessons that show up and whatnot. And then I ran for a half an hour. I have this DJ mix that I listen to. I have one that's a half an hour and one that's an hour, so I will listen to that and run. And I just got in my car and I felt so much better, and I was driving home and I got stopped at a red light on the way home. And I look at the car right in front of me, the license plate is 222. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Then I just glance over because I'm just looking around, waiting at this red light. And there was no cars in the middle lane, but there was another lane, one lane over. And the car there had a license plate 777. And I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of weird. And then this car comes in the middle lane and stops, and its license plate is 999. And I'm staring at these three numbers like, am I hallucinating? I just saw that, right? I didn't just make that up. Anyway, so that was just an experience I had today. Not to mention, I saw 1111, 111, 222, and 1222 on the clock at work today while I was teaching. So I just got an absolute windfall of signs today, and I'm feeling very grateful. And I also the other day I do this thing where I will set the intention, and I'll ask a question, and I'll give two options of yes or no, and I will say, this is what I want to know. If it's yes, show me a butterfly. If it's no, show me a dragonfly. I did this when I was deciding whether or not to break up with my ex-boyfriend, because I was all over the place with my feelings and my mind and being in it. Sometimes it's hard to see it until you step out of it. So I was having this feeling like I should end it, but I also loved him, so I didn't know what to do. And I had done this, and I said, if we work it out, show me a butterfly. If we are meant to break up, show me a dragonfly. And I was spending a lot of time outside in nature, and I saw butterflies and dragonflies, and I was like, well, that's confusing. And 2 days later, him and I both went for a walk, and he stopped to tie his shoe, and a dragonfly landed on him. And I was like, oh, that would be my sign. That would be my clear as day sign. I can't question that. That is so significant. So I have been debating something in my mind for a while now, and I had just set the intention of if it's meant to be butterfly, if it's not meant to be dragonfly. And I have seen so many effing butterflies and not a single dragonfly. And before I set this intention, I had just saw both. I literally saw a butterfly, saw a dragonfly, and I was like, oh, you're right. I need to do that thing that I do for myself, which always happens to be in the summer when there's lots of butterflies and dragonflies all around. But I have yet to see a dragonfly, and I have seen so many butterflies I can't even count. So that would be a yes from the universe, that I need to act on this. So anyway, that was just a little bit of a tangent that I'm going on, but this is going to lead me into what we are talking about today. I am going to be talking about 11 lessons that I have learned in my spirituality, in my spiritual journey, And this leads right into number one. Number one is that the universe speaks to us in numbers, patterns, synchronicities, visions, intuition, and dreams. So the way that the universe works and the way that energy works, these are the ways that the universe is communicating with us. And when we can pay attention to and tune into these things, it can become a way of communicating with the universe, picking up on these messages, picking up on this information of the universe confirming things for us or sending us signs to send us in the right direction, to lead us to the path that we're meant to walk, these kinds of things. And they can be super, super powerful and so helpful when we're on this journey of discovering who we are and what we want to do in this world and where we want to go and the impact that we want to leave on people and the career that we want to create for ourselves. And the opportunities are really endless, but there is a path we're meant to walk. And as humans, we have free will. We can choose to do whatever it is that we want. But I believe that if we do follow this path that our soul will be the most in alignment with, that our soul came here to walk this certain path, and we can ignore it all the live long day and we can do anything, and that's fine. But if we want to live the most joy-filled, purpose-filled, happy, beautiful, magical life, we have to walk this specific path that is in alignment with our soul's purpose, our dharma, our mission. And that's when we're going to feel the most fulfilled, the most happy, the most joyful, all those things that we all aspire to have in our life. So that's why I think that this is so important, and it is something I've really learned in my journey, is picking up on these signs and noticing like there are no such thing as a coincidence. So if you keep seeing the same signs over and over again, if you see the same numbers all the time, if you see the same animal all the time, if you keep having these patterns in your life repeat over and over and over and over again in different situations, but it always ends up with the same outcome, this is a sign. This is a way of the universe communicating with you, and maybe there's something that you need to change, some underlying belief or issue or problem that you're not addressing that keeps causing all these things to happen. And it's just such a powerful tool and lesson that I've learned in my journey. And also with visions, if you're somebody who, especially if you're somebody who is a very visual person, I often have visions of things, and I will continuously have the same visions. And I've had visions come true where like I have a vision and then it happens, and that's been a really big whoa. Those moments in my life were very awakening for me, and being just proving to myself that I do have these gifts and abilities, and I believe we all have these gifts and abilities. I don't think I'm special. I just feel lucky that I have tuned into them and learned to tap into them at such a young age, and I hope that it becomes more and more normal for everyone, because I think we could make this world the most beautiful, magical place if everybody was learning to use their intuition and follow these signs from the universe. So that is lesson one. And dreams are also so important. This is another part of it, because dreams are another way that spirit can communicate with us. So if you keep having a dream about a person or a certain type of animal or a sign or whatever, or if you have a dream and you wake up and you just feel like that dream was so significant, look into it. There's a lot of resources out there of people who interpret dreams. You can use your intuition and trust what it's telling you about that dream, but also you can look up the meanings of dreams, like the meaning of your teeth falling out in a dream. I believe it's significant of feeling out of control of whatever it is happening in your life. And there's all different kinds of themes of dreams, or people, places, things that keep popping up in your dreams. These are messages from the divine. And another thing about this, when it comes to receiving messages and signs from the universe, from spirit, from divine, from God, whatever you want to call it, spirit, God, universe, source is so persistent. If there is a message it's trying to get to you, it will get it to you. So this is why if you keep seeing the same things over and over and over again, it's not a coincidence. Well, there is no such thing as coincidence. It's a synchronicity. It is a pattern that is showing up. It's something that happens, and the universe is putting these things in your path in hopes that you notice and catch on and see this and receive this message. So just keep that in mind. Number 2 is that everything happens for a reason. And I 100% believe in this. And I used to say this and think this before I became super spiritual. But becoming super spiritual, this has just been confirmed to me for sure, 100,000,000%. And this has to do a lot with number 1 in receiving signs and things. But like everything happens for a reason, and it can be really easy when something happens to you that might be considered undesirable or something that you maybe don't want or you think whatever, but it all is significant and everything is rather trying to teach you a lesson. It's trying to help you grow as a person, and all these things happen. Every single situation that happens and it ends up in an outcome, there's an underlying belief system that is creating this pattern that keeps happening in your life. So it's happening for a reason. It's happening because you believe you are A, B, C, D, whatever. So let's just say, for an example, you have this underlying belief that you are not worthy. You're not worthy of love. And so you start dating these people, and it just never seems to work out, and you always keep getting dumped or whatever, and you are like, what is wrong with me? Obviously, I'm never going to be loved because it doesn't keep working out, and then it goes in this negative circle, but it's all coming from this place of believing that you're not worthy of love. So that's why it's happening. It's happening for a reason of that you're holding that belief. And then also, not just in a negative way, this is also can be happen in a positive way as well, as like these miracles, these things that happen to us in our lives, especially things that are unexplainable. Like it's the universe giving us these gifts, these opportunities, these people, these lessons, like all these things. It's not a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes we just have to take a step back and look at things from an outside perspective in order to see maybe the reason as to why it is happening. Sometimes it's not just right there in front of your eyes, so obvious. Sometimes we need to do self-reflecting. Sometimes we need to take that step back. But I promise you, everything is happening for a reason. And it's just trying to help you grow and expand and become an even better, more fulfilled version of yourself. Number 3 is that your purpose has to do with whatever brings you the most joy, whatever lights you up. So there is something in each and every one of us that we are so extremely passionate about, that we have this unexplainable love for, that is just a part of who we are, and that has to do with your purpose. It can be more than one thing. It can be a combination of multiple things. It can be one specific thing. Say you just love birds. You love birds. You're obsessed with birds, all different kinds of birds. You love bird watching, all these things. Your life purpose, your dharma has to do with birds, I guarantee you. Because that's what you're so passionate about. That's what you love. And when you have this energy towards something of just being so, like, you just become one with that thing because you know so much and you love that thing so much that you become magnetic and in that energy, and it's so easy for you to teach about and work with these things because it's just really a part of who you are deep down in your soul. Your soul chose these passions as part of your gifts and talents and abilities in this lifetime because it's a part of your purpose. It's a part of the path that you're supposed to walk. And I think sometimes maybe we have these ideas of, oh, it would be so awesome if I could do this, but it seems too good to be true, or my parents want me to do this, or people would think I'm weird if I did that, or whatever it is that's holding you back, worrying about what other people think. And you can't do that, because you're gonna end up not being in alignment with your true highest self, with the true reason that you came here. So if you are struggling to figure out what it is you want to do, to find your path, to find your purpose, you need to sit down and write down all the things that bring you joy, the things that light you up the most. And I promise you, your purpose lies somewhere in there. And for me, I 100% know that's true. I see it in myself so easily. I am so passionate about spirituality, astrology, magic, all the energies of the universe. I could talk about that stuff all the live long day, hence why I have a podcast. And also dance. I have had many messages, downloads that dance is a big part of my life, a big part of my message. I'm a dance teacher. I'm also a DJ. I get to dance. I love dancing. Dancing I use as my source of physical activity for a lot of the time. And I just feel so connected to myself, to my soul. It really helps me with my emotions. And I know that it's a big part of what I'm going to share and teach with people as well in this life. And those things are what light me up the most. And I have no doubts in my mind that I'm going to be successful in what I do, because I'm so passionate about it and I have such love for it, and I'm so knowledgeable in it because I enjoy it so much, and I do so much research and I get so much information about these things because it is my passion. Okay, number 4 is that play is so important. We need to make time to play, okay? Because we live in this world where it's work, 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 work. We're always doing things. We have so much to do. And there has to be a balance between work and play. And the more play that we can throw in there, the more we can connect with our inner child, which is really why play is so important, because that's really what we're doing, connecting to our inner child, to that part of ourselves that's so innocent and loves to play and have fun and run around and giggle and hang out with our friends and do all the things that we loved to do when we were a kid. Still do them as an adult, and we're going to find more success in our careers. We're going to find that our minds are more easy, we can more easily focus on what it is that we need to do if we take time to play. If you're trying to work all the time, you're going to have a wandering mind, you're going to get distracted easier and all these things. But if we can take specific time in our day and to play and to work, it's going to bring such a balance. And whether that be you walk to the park and swing on the swings for 20 minutes because you need a mental break, or do a cartwheel in your backyard, or take a specific day or days in a week to go do some fun things, to play, to, hang out with your friends, do things, laugh, have fun. That is so important. And when we can do that and honor that part of ourselves, we're going to find more success in the work, business, career, get shit done side of ourselves. So make sure that you include play every day, or at least incorporate it into your weekly schedule, because it is so important. And we are meant to have fun. Life was never intended for us to sit at a desk and do work all day and have no fun and be miserable, okay? We've done that to ourselves as human beings on this planet, and it's my mission to help that become not the norm, because it's crazy to me that there's just been all these generations leading to this point where we're just all miserable. And because we're not playing, we need to play. At what point do we just wake up one day and think that we're not allowed to have fun and play and be goofy and all these things? Like, we need to stay a child our whole lives. We need to embrace that part of ourselves our whole lives. We don't turn 15 years old and are never allowed to have fun again. We don't graduate from college and just have to work in this job that's making us miserable. It's so, so, so important. So do something today to play. Do something to honor your inner child. And you can thank me later, because you are going to feel that instantly, how amazing that feels. And this leads into number 5, which is that we were not meant to sit inside at a desk and stare at a screen all day. It is very unnatural, and it is a really big part of the disconnect that we have from ourselves, from our intuition, from the universe, from each other, from nature, from the planet. There's so much disconnect in this world, and I think there are so many of us that feel lonely, and we're missing this sense of community. We're missing this sense of feeling connected to each other and nature and all these things. And we are super powerful beings, and we have all these psychic abilities and these intuitive powers and all these gifts, and most of us don't even know that we have them. We're not tuned into them. We don't exercise that part of our brain. It's a muscle. And if we don't know it's there and we don't know how to use it, it's just becoming dormant, and we're missing all this big part of life. And it's why we have so much depression and anxiety and sadness and hurt and anger and all these things in the world, which is so terrible. And I'm so upset because it was never intended. And we've gone so far in society where it's so normal. We work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. We're inside at a desk, staring at a screen, while it's beautiful outside, while the sun is shining. And we need to get in the sunlight. We need to go outside and connect with nature. We need to breathe the fresh air. And we need to connect with all of the elements, fire, earth, air, and water. It's so important because we are a part of nature. We are animals. We are nature. Nature lives within us, and we are supposed to be living in nature, and we've built these houses for ourselves as shelter, which makes sense, but now we've gone so far, but we spend so much time inside. And especially if you're someone like me, like in the summer, I spend as much time outside as I can because I love the outdoors and nature. But I unfortunately live in a place where it's cold for most of the year, and it's hard to spend enough time outside and feel that connection to nature when it's minus 45 degrees Celsius. That's way too cold to spend any longer than 10 minutes outside because you can literally get frostbite. So I know one day I'm going to have to live somewhere that's warm all year round because I am a way better person when it's summer and I'm spending time outside. And if I feel any type of anxious anxiety, I'm feeling off, I'm feeling depressed. The story that I just told at the beginning about my day, what did I do? I went outside. I walked outside in the park for an hour, went for a run outside for half an hour, just soaked up the nature. I was just admiring the sun shining through the trees, seeing the little sparkles, the little magic everywhere, and just reminded myself that I am where I need to be. I calmed myself down, grounded myself by being in nature, and just instantly felt better. But there's so many things inside to distract us, to make us want to spend time inside, like watching TV, doing work, video games, anything that is keeping us inside. Get outside. We are not meant to do this. We are not meant to sit all day. We need to move our bodies. We are not meant to be inside. The air inside our house is not even close to the air that you can breathe outside. It gets so stagnant and not as good for us as the fresh air outside. The trees literally clean the air for us. So when you're breathing in the air, in nature, in a park, in the bush, wherever, that air is like pure and so good for us. But we're breathing in the air in our house and we're breathing it in, and it's not the same. So get outside and just, yes, connect with nature, okay? It's so important. Number 6 is that everything is energy, and energy affects everything in our lives. Everything vibrates, everything has a frequency. Whatever you vibrate at, whatever your frequency is what you're going to attract into your life. And it's also very important to note that everything that you put on and in your body has an effect on your energy on this frequency, and it affects how we feel. It affects everything that we manifest into our lives. It affects our entire reality. So we need to be very cautious of the products that we use and the foods that we eat and the air that we breathe and all the things. Everything affects our reality and our energy and what shows up for us. And I talk about this all the time. I'm very passionate about energy. I know that everything is energy. The universe is an energy. Everything is a frequency. There's no denying it. It is science. It is proved. It is just the way that the universe works. And it's very powerful to know this information and to be able to use it to our advantage. And just start noticing things about your energy. If your energy is feeling more of a low vibe, reflect on what did you do today? Why are you feeling this way? Why are you feeling low vibes? And what's causing you to feel these vibrations? Did you eat really shitty? Because I have noticed in myself, I have a sweet tooth. I love candy, chocolate, ice cream, whatever. But I now know that when I eat these things, I feel not good. And then I feel not good about myself. I'm hard on myself. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. And I can go down this bad rabbit hole that I don't need to go down. Whereas if I just choose to eat healthy, and I instantly feel it, if I eat a really healthy breakfast full of protein, that I'm just setting myself up good for the day. I make better, healthier choices. I feel so good in my body. I have all this energy to exercise and move my body. If I eat shitty, I want to sit on the couch all day. I want to have a nap, all these things. I'm not getting things done. My brain is foggy. I can't do things. I can't get work done. Everything has an effect on it. And then also products that we put on our body, which I think sometimes is forgotten. The lotions, the shampoo, the conditioner, the face wash, the creams, anything, perfume, all these things that we're putting on our body, we're still absorbing into our body. Like if you wouldn't put it in your mouth, don't put it on your skin, okay? And luckily there are clean brands of makeup and skincare and all the things. Again, if you don't have the app Yuka, Y-U-K-A, the picture's a little carrot, get it, please. Scans the barcodes of things and lets you know what's in it and rates it out of 100 for how good the product is and what's in it. And there's a lot of toxins in our foods, in our products that are lowering our vibration. And just by cleaning up some things in our life, even things like toothpaste, can have an effect on our energy and our frequency and our whole life. Number 7 is that when you're feeling uncomfortable, it means that you're growing. And our ego wants us to stay where we are because we know that we can survive where we are now. And our ego is scared to die because our ego dies when we die. But our soul carries on forever. So when we get to a point of expanding in our lives, that we're growing, it's going to feel uncomfortable because our ego doesn't know what is going to happen when we take this next step, when we do this next thing for ourselves, when we embody these new beliefs. And it can create this place of feeling like you don't want to do something, and it will make us feel hesitant to try something new or to move on or to, quit your job and do what you really love or whatever it is. Our ego's always going to put up a fight because it wants us to be safe, and that's the job of the ego, and that's the beautiful part of the ego. Is without the ego, we don't know that we would be safe. But we also can't let the ego control our whole lives and make all these decisions for ourselves. So learning to understand your ego and when your ego's talking, and to know that if you're feeling this uncomfortability, if you're feeling this resistance in making a decision, it's not a bad thing. It's just a sign that you are about to grow. And we can't grow when we're comfortable. We can't grow when we stay the same, right? When we're comfortable all the time, we're just staying in our bubble. And how do we expand our bubble? By stepping outside of it, and then it will grow bigger, and we will learn more, and we will have more experiences and all the things. So if you're feeling extremely uncomfortable about something, if you're worried about a decision you're going to make, things like that, just remember that beyond that uncomfortability, beyond that step outside your boundary, outside your comfort zone, that's where true growth happens, and that's where we can expand and have extremely magical experiences and really grow as people, as souls, as beings, and it can be so good for us. So sometimes we need to put our ego in check, remind our ego that we're going to be safe, that everything's going to be okay, that it's okay and nothing bad's going to happen, and then we do that thing that scares us anyway, because that's where the magic happens. Number 8 is that the answer to everything, to the whole entire universe, is love. And if we can do anything out of a place of love, we are doing the right thing. And we need to learn to not only have this deep, unconditional love for all people and things and beings, animals, plants, the earth, each other, but most importantly for ourselves. And when we learn to love ourselves at this pure level of like actually 100% completely, totally loving ourselves and who we are, your whole life will change. And it also makes it so much easier to become in love with life and to love others unconditionally, because there's a theory, and I don't know who has this theory or who started it. I have no idea, but I've had this thought on my own, and then I've heard about people talking about it. And essentially, it's just like, imagine that we are everyone. We live infinite lives. We are living infinite lives right now in different universes, multiverses, and that. But what if we are everyone on Earth right now? And even if it's not true, we have been through so many things throughout all of our lives. We live so many lives, and that's why we have to show everybody this deep love and compassion and understanding, because you've been there. And if you haven't been there in this life or past lives, in your next lives, there's a good chance you're going to be there. And we just have to send love, because, you know, it can be so easy to judge people. It can be easy to quickly jump to an assumption about somebody, and it's always just going to bite you in the butt, because rather, you have no idea what they've been through. You don't know what they've been through to cause them to do that. Most people that aren't full of trauma and terrible experiences don't end up in these terrible experiences. So like, all you can do is send them love and hope that they heal and hope that they find their way on their journey. And you don't have to stop and try to fix everyone's problems. You can just send them love energetically. You can just say, you know, I hope you heal, and, you know, move on. You don't have to, you know, every single homeless person that you come across, well, you know, bring them to your house and give them somewhere to sleep. That's not what I mean, but you can give them love and compassion, and, you know, like, feel sorry that that's where they're at, and send them so much love, because that's what they need. Anyone that's suffering, anyone that's in this terrible place, that's maybe made a few wrong decisions that got them to this place of being in all this pain and suffering, we need to send them love on their journey, because they rather don't know any better, or they've been so severely hurt and traumatized that they just, you know, end up doing a lot of drugs or whatever it is that gets them in trouble. And just remember, it could be you in this life, in another life, in the next life. And when we're judging, when we're sitting there pointing fingers and scolding, we're forgetting that we are not perfect, that there are things that we need to work on for ourselves. And, you know, we can't just, it's not tit for tat, it's not better or worse. And so love is the answer. Love everyone and everything. And if you're ever feeling judgmental or hatred or judgy towards something else, just try to take a step back and look at it through the lens of love. Look at it with the perspective of everyone and everything is love. And it might help you to feel better and to come to a better place about everything. Number 9 is that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And this ties into the last one that I just talked about, but we are souls and we have had so many lifetimes before this, and we will have so many lifetimes after this. And it can really change the perspective of death. Death doesn't mean the end, and it's never meant the end. It means a new beginning, and it's just another way of looking at it as like, again, everything is energy. We are all energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. So we have to go somewhere. Something has to happen to us after death. And, there's no way that we get one shot at this thing called life in this infinite universe. There's no way. You could never convince me that that's true, because the universe is infinite and our souls can't turn into nothing. And this was a really powerful thing learning this, because before I became spiritual, there was a time where I was kind of religious, and then there was a time where I was almost atheist and didn't know, and I just was like, well, what if it's just black? And honestly, even if it was, that's all you would know. You wouldn't know any different. If your consciousness was gone, it's not like you would be sad about it. There would be nothing. But also, I don't believe that that's true. I believe 100,000 million trillion percent that we are going to live so many lives. And while we're not living lives, we're existing in the spirit realm. And we get to hang out there with all the spirits and beings that we love. And then we go and experience a lifetime and we learn some lessons. And then we come back to the spirit world and we spend some time there reflecting on that life and what we learned. And then we take that wisdom with us and then we go into another life and we learn some more lessons and we have some more experiences. And then we go back to the spirit world and we reconnect with those souls, our soul tribe, the people in your life that you feel you have these deep, intense connections with, that you meet them and you feel like you've known them your whole life. Or for a lot of your family, probably all of your family has to do with your soul tribe and souls that reincarnate in all these lives together. Those souls you're always connected with. And then you have these relationships will have all different kinds of roles. Like, for example, me and my sister. In a past life, I was her mom. In another past life, she was my mom. In this life, we're sisters. In another life, we were just best friends. In another life, I'm her auntie or uncle or whatever. And we just have all of these different roles always, but our souls are always together. And we have this extreme deep connection with each other because we've gone through all these experiences together, not just in this life, but in every life. And it makes me so lucky to feel that, and in my next life, I'm going to have her too. And so just know that we are not human beings who have spiritual experiences in this lifetime. We are spiritual beings that are having a human experience right now. And we will have lots of human experiences or experiences as other beings. It could be animals. It could be some kind of alien. It could be mermaids. It could be a unicorn. Who fucking knows? It can be anything. Because energy is infinite. And death is just the new beginning. It's a new chapter. It's a new life. And a new chance at opportunities and chances to grow and expand. And anyway, I could go on about this forever. But just remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Number 10 is that we are always manifesting. Manifestation is something that has become a trend, which is awesome. It's become popular in the social media space. A lot of people talk about it. tips on how to manifest this and manifestation that and blah, 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 blah. And it's all great. It's awesome. I'm glad that it's becoming normalized because it's actually always happening. It's not something that we can just turn on and off. It's not a skill. It's not a trick. It is how energy works. Okay? It is a combination of universal laws such as the law of attraction, the law of action, things like that, the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, all these things result in manifestation. So when we put our energy into something, it's going to happen. But also, it's happening whether or not we're consciously trying to manifest. It's not like you sit down at night and you try to manifest and then you're manifesting these things and then they happen. It's always manifesting. If you believe that you're not worthy of love, guess what? You're manifesting not having love. Okay, you can write in your journal all day long, I am attracting my soulmate, but if the other 99% of the time that you're not writing that in your journal, you actually believe and actually think and actually feel the emotions of the belief of, I am not worthy of love, that's not what you're going to manifest. And it's powerful to know this because manifestation is really powerful and you can manifest things very quickly into your life. But there has to be a belief in alignment with that. And we have to know that we're always manifesting. And yes, there are good tools and tricks that we can use to help aid us in manifestation and help make it easier and help dive into these beliefs that might be holding us back. But we are manifesting all the bad things into our life too. If there's things happening that you wish weren't happening, guess what? You still manifested it. And I'm going to use this example of something that happened to me last summer. I was renovating a house, and when I was renovating this house, it was like a log cabin, and so I had to sand and then stain this house. And there's huge windows in the front, huge beautiful windows. And I saved that part till the end because I was so scared to break a window. Didn't want to break a window. I kept thinking about, don't break a window, don't break a window, I don't want to break a window. Finally got to that part and I'm standing by the windows. Guess who broke a window? Me. Why? Because I spent like 2.5, 3 months worried about not breaking a window. All of a sudden, every time when I was working, it was like, don't break a window, don't want to do this part because I don't want to break a window. And I broke a window. So when it happened, I honestly laughed because it's a window. It can get replaced. It's not the end of the world, okay? I didn't destroy the house. I didn't fall over. All I did was break a window. Don't know why I had to be so worried about it all summer, being anxious, worrying about breaking this window. And I did because I was putting so much energy into it. Obviously, that was going to happen. So this happens for all things. So worry, fear, if that's where your energy is going, that's what's going to manifest, the things that you're worried and scared about. But if you're putting all your energy into love and gratitude and abundance and all these feelings, that's what you're going to manifest. So just remember that we are always manifesting. And last but not least, there is a lot of conditioning in this world that has led to a lot of unhealthy and limiting beliefs within all of us. And it is really beneficial to know that that not everything we were taught as kids growing up, whether it be from school or your parents or peers or whatever, through the social media, through whatever, not everything is true. And there's been so much conditioning in this world to make us believe certain things that are not true, that result in us having these sufferings and these undesirable circumstances and outcomes of things in our life. And we have to be able to stop and reflect and decide what it is that we actually want to believe to be true. What is true for us? Because whatever is true for us is true in our reality. But we get to decide, okay? And just know that just because your parents raised you a certain way doesn't mean that that's what's true, or that's what has to be true. It probably is true right now in your reality because that's a belief that you hold, but that's not the truth of the universe. And it doesn't have to be true for you if you don't want it to be. You can decide what's true. You can decide what you want to be true for you. And we have to go in and dig deep and look at the beliefs that we have about money, about love, about self-worth, about our confidence, about who we are and what we desire and all the things. Because I bet you there is a lot of conditioning that has been done that makes you believe things that are resulting in having unhealthy and undesirable behaviors or circumstances or outcomes or whatever. So just have an open mind about things, because there's also a part of our brain called our reticulating activation system, or RAS, and it's a part of a brain where it has like filters in it. And when we believe something to be true or something is in our awareness, that's what we notice, because we pick up on so much information all the time, every day. We are constantly getting information from our surroundings and everything around us. And it is so overwhelming because we get so much information that we have this RAS system, which will it will take the information that proves whatever it is that we believe to be true. It will send us that information, and it ends up being so that we can confirm our beliefs and keep going about our way. So if you want to change your beliefs, you have to start to become aware of the beliefs that you have and start to consciously change your beliefs around things. So if a belief comes up for you, you might have to correct yourself and be like, no, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I choose to believe this. Affirmations can be really powerful. You can do hypnosis. You can listen to subliminals while you're sleeping or working out or on a walk or whatever to help reprogram your mind, and meditation and things like that. And some things I have found for myself in my own journey, learning things, there will be things that I hear that I just instantly am like, yeah, I believe that. That's so true. And I will just shift to having that belief. But there's some things that I have to work on my beliefs around that don't happen that naturally, that easily. But it's just to keep in mind that, the things that we believe to be true, that we have proof of being true from our lives, is only because we already hold those beliefs. And we don't have to. We can outgrow that conditioning, and we can choose to believe in magic, to believe in miracles, to believe that the universe is always conspiring in our favor, to believe that we are so lucky, to believe that we are confident and we can do anything we set our minds to believe that we are successful and that there are so many people in the world that we are going to help and inspire. And whatever it is, we can believe that we are so worthy of love and our soulmate is just around the corner and things like that. It's just if we choose to believe it. Anyway, that is all for today. 11 things that I have learned on my spiritual journey. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And thank you so much for tuning in today and every other day. I appreciate you guys all so much. You have no idea. You truly make my heart so full. Words can't even explain how grateful I am to have this platform and this audience and you guys. And I love coming here every single week and being able to share things with you guys. So thank you. I love you. I hope you have the best rest of your day, rest of your week. And I hope that something magical happens to you today. I will see you next time. Bye.